What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to do something a little different. It's not kart related, of course, but back in my younger primer days, I used to buy a whole lot of cars and fix cars, sell cars, and do a lot of flipping and wheeling and dealing and stuff. That's just what I like to do. So I haven't been able to actually afford to do this last couple years, I'd say. Yes, I've been purchasing this land here now that it's paid for. I might have a little bit of money to wheel and deal here a little bit now. So I actually had a buddy of mine call me and said, hey man, I got this Civic I used to throw the papers in. I don't throw papers no more, so you want to buy it? And I was like, well, if the price is right, I'll buy it. So he shot me a price. I went and looked at it. Not a bad little car. Transmission shifts well. It's an automatic, and I'm not throwing papers in a 5-speed. Nobody's going to want to go out there in a 5-speed and shifting gears, rolling and throwing papers out the windows. You can do it. I've done it in a Ford Focus 5-speed ZX3. But regardless, it's a little 98 Honda Civic. It's got 200,000 miles, power windows and locks and all that jive, but runs and drives fine. Transmission shifts good. I was happy with it. He wants $600 for it. I went ahead and paid him. We signed the title over. It's already in my name. So now we might have a little bit of work to do to get it legal, but it comes with everything that we should have to get it legal. So all we got to do is actually do a little bit of work, and we'll pass inspection. Get this check engine light off. I hope, if he ain't lied to me. Guess we'll find out. Some people tell you a story till you get there. Alright, so let's get this check engine light off. The first thing we are going to do is pop the hood and locate the knock sensor on the engine. Now, I watched a video on YouTube. Yes, that's right, I watch YouTube. So I watched a video on YouTube, and so they said the knock sensor is located on the back of the engine, right below the intake manifold, basically right above the oil filter, and it comes with a new oil filter with this car. So if I have to pull the oil filter off, so be it. I got new engine oil and oil filter to throw back in it. I'm not too worried about that. Might as well do an oil change while we're there. So let's go ahead and get under the car with a light and see if I can't locate the knock sensor. Alright, we've got the oil draining. I'm going to go ahead and remove this oil cap. There we go. Right there. Now, like I said, we've got the oil draining. The oil filter is off. And we drove this car today, squeezing this upper radiator hose. There's no water in it. There is no pressure in the system, so we probably more than likely 100% have a blown head gasket, not unless we can get lucky and that radiator cap with a screw in the top is our problem. We'll find out. I'm going to go to Honda tomorrow and buy a Honda radiator cap, and we'll take it from there and try, see what happens. That's the first thing I'm definitely going to put on this thing. Never buy an aftermarket radiator cap for your Honda. They're cheap enough that you can go to Honda and purchase this radiator cap. Trust me.
An hour later.
So I did a lot of research online, and I saw oil pressure sensor right in the back of the block. Screws in right here, so I find where it goes right above the oil pressure. Screws right in, but there's not one there, so I'm thinking, did it fall out? Is the wiring missing? Did the wiring break off and fall out with it? That's probably very rare, so something didn't seem right. Couldn't find the wiring. Yes, the new knock sensor screws in the block, right above. You know, you got your oil. If you're looking at the back of the block, you got your oil filter. Then you got right above the oil filter is where this goes, and then right above that to the left is where it says the knock sensor is. So of course this screws in there. I'm wondering if that's for a different model. Like maybe this is a base model, LX, power windows and all that, but it doesn't have the VTEC. Maybe that knock sensor there is for the VTEC. So I went online, did a little bit more research, and I saw someone said that this 96 Honda Civic was kind of built into the crank sensor or whatever, but they said the knock sensor was on the side of the timing belt right underneath the camshaft and all that. So I'm like, well, wait a minute, that's, you know, the crankshaft, let me rephrase that. So of course I go to the driver's side, I look at the timing belt cover and I see some wiring that's running along the side of the timing belt cover. So I go underneath, I find the wiring, and it goes down into the timing belt covering, and I can't see nothing under there. So I'm looking, and I notice that the alternator belt is cutting into that wire. So I'm hoping maybe I can pull it back. One of the wires is cut all the way through. I can fix it, and my check engine light will be gone. Let's try it. Never hurts to try. Maybe we get lucky. I don't even have to install the stupid little $100 knock sensor this guy bought. Maybe I can return it and get $100 back off this car. Off the $600 I bought. Alright, take the GoPro down there and we're going to find out. Alright, so we're under the car now. Keep in mind he said he was driving it, then it threw the check engine light. And the guy said that it's a knock sensor. So I'm under here looking up. And of course you can't see that, but right there, that wiring's hitting that belt. Let's try to zoom in. Can you see that? Probably pretty hard to see right there. Bam! You see that? Yep. Needless to say, I'm gonna get in there, look at that wiring. Hopefully one of them's cut all the way through. Fix it, and the check engine light will go off. If that's the case, we'll get inspection tomorrow, baby. Inspection. We're gonna inspect my car tomorrow. So let's get this done, and I'll be right back. All right, so we got the oil changed, and we got it off the ramps, got it back in here, and I've got it jacked up. Now I'm gonna pull this tire, drop this side cover under here, so I can actually see the side, the timing belt cover and all that, and that's exactly where that wiring is that's being chewed through, so we can get to it a lot easier. Well, after a lot of work, I have managed to go under the intake, and I couldn't pull the wiring connection down in order to unplug it because it was snapped on to a little bracket underneath the intake, and there was no room to get in there. So what I did was I went under the car, I took a really long crowbar, and I went underneath the plastic where it was connected onto the bracket, and I just took a hammer and a crowbar and hit it a couple times and busted the plastic where it was holding the connection on. So then I was able to lift it up a little bit and slide it out from underneath the intake and unplug it and drag the harness down the side of the engine. So now the harness is right here, and I can get to the wires where they are cut and fix the wires in here. I'll show you what it looks like under here. We like to be able to focus on stuff here. So there it is. The blue one's completely cut in half. And like I say, the guy said it's reading a knock sensor. So I'm assuming this is the crank sensor. But I guess we'll fix this and see what happens. So let me cut these wires in half, splice them all back together, put it all back together, get it out of the way of this alternator belt, and we'll be right back. Well, just got back from the test ride. We've been driving for about 20-30 minutes now. No check engine lights. I had to pull the battery off. I just can't get my little OBD2 sensor to connect to the torque app. I don't know what's going on there, but we fixed it. It was the wire all along, so you know, I do have the $100 knock sensor with the receipt from the imports parts place on Peters Creek Parkway here locally. He said they had to order it, so I don't know if I'll be able to take it back. Probably not, but maybe I can sell it on eBay for 50 bucks with the receipt. Who knows? Who cares? Maybe I can get something out of it. Needless to say, the check engine light's gone. Tomorrow I can take it, get it inspected, and transfer my tags over. So we got that done. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hope you like the new little Civic, and give it a thumbs up. We'll see you next time. Peace. Too old for this crap.